Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak from the heart about a woman whose voice carries the weight of tradition and the warmth of human emotion, a woman who stands as one of the most respected and deeply loved figures in modern Japanese music, Cichuan Yuji Ichikawa Yukino. When we talk about true artistry, we are not talking only about technique, popularity, or numbers on a chart. We are talking about sincerity. We are talking about a presence that reaches beyond the stage and settles quietly into the listener's life. Cichuan Yuji is that kind of artist. From the moment she sings her first note, you can feel that she is not performing at you, she is sharing something with you. Her voice does not rush. It does not demand attention. It invites you in, gently, respectfully, as if she is telling you a story she has lived herself. Born in Saitama Prefecture, Cichuan Yuji grew up surrounded by music that carried the spirit of Japan's past. Enka was not just a genre to her. It was a language of emotion, a way to express longing, endurance, love, and loss. As a young girl, she showed remarkable dedication, studying music seriously and training her voice with discipline and humility. This foundation is important, because when you listen to her today, what you hear is not just talent, but years of quiet effort and unwavering commitment. Her official debut came in 1993, a time when the music industry was changing rapidly. Pop music was rising, trends were shifting, and traditional genres like enka faced the challenge of staying relevant. For many artists, this would have been discouraging. For Cichuan Yuji, it became a test of perseverance. Early in her career, she experienced setbacks that might have ended someone else's dream. There were periods of silence, moments when her name was not on the charts, when success seemed distant. But this is where her true character reveals itself. Instead of giving up, she chose to endure. She refined her voice, deepened her expression, and waited patiently for the moment when her music would truly reach people. That moment did come, and when it did, it felt earned. Her return to the spotlight was not loud or flashy. It was steady and dignified, much like her personality. Songs such as Hai Sha Bing Yu and Later showcased a voice that had matured, a singer who understood pain not as something to dramatize but as something to honor. Her performances resonated especially with listeners who had lived through hardship themselves. In her singing, they heard their own stories reflected back with compassion. What sets Cichuan Yuji apart is her emotional control. She never oversings. Every vibrato, every pause, every breath feels intentional. She understands that silence can be just as powerful as sound. On stage, she stands with grace, often still, allowing the song to carry the movement. Her kimono, her posture, her calm gaze all contribute to a sense of timeless elegance. She represents an image of Japanese beauty that is not loud or exaggerated, but composed, resilient, and deeply human. Her lyrics often speak of love that endures separation, of women who remain strong even when their hearts are heavy, of memories that cannot be erased by time. These are themes that transcend age. Older listeners recognize their own pasts, while younger audiences discover emotions they may not yet have words for. In this way, Cichuan Yuji becomes a bridge between generations, preserving tradition while keeping it alive in the present. Beyond music, her personal journey has inspired many. When she openly shared her battle with illness, she did so not to gain sympathy, but to be honest. Her temporary withdrawal from activities and her later return to the stage were met with deep respect from fans and fellow artists alike. Watching her come back, not weakened but strengthened in spirit, reminded people that true strength is quiet and persistent. When she sings after such experiences, her voice carries even more weight, because it is supported by real life, real struggle, and real courage. Recognition followed naturally. Awards such as the Japan Record Award and repeated appearances on NHK's Kohaku Yuta Gassen were not just career milestones, they were affirmations. They told a story of an artist who stayed true to herself and was finally embraced on a national level. Yet even with success, Cichuan Yuji remains humble. In interviews, she speaks respectfully of her seniors, gratefully of her fans, and cautiously of her own achievements. This humility is not an act, it is part of who she is. Listening to Cichuan Yuji is an experience that slows time. In a world that constantly urges us to move faster, to consume more, to feel less, her music asks us to pause. It asks us to remember. It asks us to feel deeply, even when it hurts. And in that feeling, there is healing. There is comfort. There is the quiet understanding that we are not alone in our emotions. So today, when we speak her name, Cichuan Yuji, we are not just naming a singer. We are honoring a storyteller, a survivor, and a guardian of cultural memory. Her voice carries the echoes of countless lives, countless loves, countless goodbyes. And as long as she continues to sing, those echoes will not fade. This is why her presence matters. This is why her songs endure. And this is why, when she steps onto the stage and the first note fills the air, people listen not just with their ears, but with their hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, today I ask you to listen not just with your ears, but with your memories, your experiences, and your heart, because the story of市川由紀乃is not merely the story of a singer. It is the story of perseverance, dignity, and the quiet strength that defines true artistry. In an age where noise often replaces depth, her voice remains a calm river flowing steadily through time, carrying with it the emotions of generations.市川由紀乃was born into a world where music was more than entertainment, it was a way of expressing life itself. From her earliest years in Saitama Prefecture, she absorbed the spirit of enka, a genre that does not shy away from sorrow, longing, or regret. Enka does not pretend that life is easy, and neither does she. This deep connection between the artist and the genre shaped her voice, her phrasing, and her emotional sensitivity. Even as a young girl, she understood that singing was not about being heard the loudest, but about being felt the deepest. Her debut in 1993 marked the beginning of a journey that would test her resolve. The music industry was evolving rapidly, and traditional music faced increasing pressure from modern trends. Many talented artists faded quietly during this period, unable to adapt or unwilling to wait.市川由紀乃chose a different path. When success did not arrive quickly, she did not abandon her calling. Instead, she retreated, reflected, and refined herself. Those years of silence were not years of defeat, they were years of preparation. When she returned, there was a noticeable difference. Her voice had grown richer, more controlled, and emotionally layered. She sang not as someone chasing recognition, but as someone who had lived, endured, and learned. Songs like Hai Sha Bing Yu and revealed an artist who could express pain without bitterness and love without illusion. Each lyric felt lived in, as though she was not interpreting a song, but remembering a life. What makes市川由紀乃extraordinary is her understanding of restraint. In her performances, there is no excess. She allows space for the listener to breathe, to reflect, to feel. Her pauses are deliberate, her expressions subtle. This restraint creates intimacy. You feel as though she is singing directly to you, sharing something private and precious. In that moment, the distance between stage and audience disappears. Her stage presence embodies traditional Japanese elegance. Clad in kimono, standing with calm composure, she represents a form of beauty rooted in respect and balance. There is no need for dramatic gestures or visual spectacle. Her presence alone commands attention because it is grounded in authenticity. She honors the traditions of enka not by imitating the past, but by living its values in the present. The themes she sings about resonate deeply across generations. Love separated by distance, promises left unfulfilled, memories that linger like shadows at dusk, these are not outdated emotions. They are universal. Older listeners hear echoes of their own youth, while younger listeners discover emotions they will one day understand more fully. In this way,市川由紀乃becomes a bridge, connecting eras through shared human feeling. Her personal life, too, has shaped her artistry. When she faced serious illness, she chose honesty over silence. Stepping away from the spotlight required courage, and returning required even more. Her comeback was not framed as a triumph over weakness, but as a continuation of life. When she sang again, her voice carried new depth. It was the sound of someone who had confronted fragility and emerged with greater compassion. Awards and recognition followed, but they never defined her. Appearances on NHK's Kohaku Yuta Gassen and prestigious music awards acknowledged her contribution, yet she accepted them with humility. In interviews, she speaks softly, always redirecting praise to her supporters, her mentors, and the music itself. This humility reinforces the trust her audience feels toward her. She does not stand above her listeners, she stands beside them. Listening to市川由紀乃is an act of slowing down. Her songs resist the rush of modern life. They ask you to sit with your emotions, to acknowledge them without judgment. In doing so, they offer comfort. Not the comfort of easy answers, but the comfort of being understood. Her music does not tell you that everything will be fine, it tells you that it is okay to feel what you feel. Her voice carries cultural memory. Through her, the spirit of enka continues to live, not as a relic, but as a living, breathing form of expression. She proves that tradition does not have to be loud to survive. It only has to be sincere. Each performance becomes an act of preservation, a reminder that emotions expressed honestly never lose their relevance. As time moves forward, new artists will emerge, trends will change, and tastes will evolve. Yet voices like Sichuan Yuji-nai's remain timeless because they are rooted in truth. She does not chase the moment, she creates moments that stay. Her songs linger long after the final note fades, echoing quietly in the listener's heart. So when we speak of Sichuan Yuji-nai, we speak of more than a career. We speak of a life devoted to expressing the unspoken, of strength that does not shout, of beauty that does not demand attention. Her journey reminds us that endurance is its own form of brilliance, and that sincerity, above all else, is what allows art to endure. And as long as her voice continues to rise, steady and clear, the stories of countless hearts will continue to be sung, remembered, and honored.